This is APN Daily English News Service brought to you by Arakan Press Network. Today, Saturday, 12th of November 2016. I am your host, Sajid Jalal. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Arakan Press Network headlines are as follows. Bangladesh respects its friendship with Myanmar PM. Mysterious debris crash lands in northern Myanmar state media. Corpse of Rohingya girl found at VD border. Now, in-depth story. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina on Wednesday said Bangladesh values its ties with Myanmar. As a close-door neighbor, Bangladesh always gives values to good relation and cooperation with Myanmar, and we share a historic relation with Myanmar, she said. Hasina said it to visiting commander and chief of Myanmar Air Force General King Aung call on the former at her office, report BSS. Prime Minister Press Secretary Ehsanul Karim informed reporters after the meeting that Hasina said it in reference to their two countries' engagement in trade on borders and sea roads. He said the Prime Minister and the Myanmar official discussed different issues of mutual interest. The Myanmar official expressed interest of replicating Bangladesh's experience in building cyclone shelter center on Myanmar coastline. Ehsanul said the Premier mentioned that Bangladesh would never allow the Myanmar insurgent to use its soils. She said Bangladesh earlier experienced identical insurgency problems in the Chittagong Hill Track CST, but we resolved the conflict without intervention of any other country. Aung thanked the Premier for Bangladesh's support to Myanmar against terrorist activists on the border, saying now Myanmar frontier is under control. Principal Secretary Abdul Kalam Azad and Myanmar Ambassador in Bangladesh U Myok Min Than were present during the call on IH. A large metal cylinder through to be from a Chinese satellite or aircraft fell from the sky and slammed into a jade mining area in northern Myanmar, state media reported on Friday. The large barrel-shaped object, 4.5 meters long and just over a meter in diameter, crashed onto property owned by a jade mining company in Kachin State's Arakan Township on Thursday, reported the global news Light of Myanmar. Another smaller piece of metal bearing Chinese writing tore through the roof of a house in a nearby village at the same time. The paper said no one was injured. The metal objects are assumed to be part of a satellite or the engine part of a plane or missile, the Global New Light said, adding that the authorities were still trying to confirm the origin of that story. Pictures circulated on social media showed that what appeared to be pieces of technological equipment and wiring attached to the inside of a vast cylinder. Local resident reported hearing a loud bang before the hunk of metal landed and then proceeded to bounce some 50 meters across the mining area before coming to rest in the mud. The bizarre event came the same day Chinese state media reported Beijing had recently launched a satellite into space. It could not be confirmed whether the launch of the satellite and the metal object found in Kachin State were related, the Global New Light said. Pakistan is the center of Myanmar's multi-billion-dollar jade industry, which feeds a voracious demand for the stone in neighboring China. A stirring of deadly landslide in the mine-pocketed area have killed source over the past year, source Gulf News. Bangladesh police found a corpse of Rohingya lady in floating state at Bangladesh border site on 10 November. Along with 5 others had been missing after they had drowned in the Naf River water while crossing into Bangladesh from Burma on November 7. It was reported that at least 5 Rohingya asylum seekers had drowned in the water of Naf River while crossing by a rowboat into Bangladesh through Zimang Khali border point from Changchong Chinkhali of Mount the North on November 7. The 2 children, including one grown-up daughter of Nurullah and one son of Hassan Ali, hailed from Luding village track of northern Maundo. There were more than a dozen Rohingya passengers, with the victims departed for Bangladesh from Luding village track of Maundo seeking for asylum due to fear of barbarous atrocities of Burmese military on the Rohingya. All the passengers were able to get on the land from the boat, but unfortunately the 5 victims fell into the river while jumping over to the land, and the strong current carried them away so fast. Since then they had been missing in the river. A villager from Shangchung says the arrivals of Rohingya are being gradually increased into neighboring Bangladesh with a hope to safety and dignity following the continual crackdown against Rohingya Muslims in Mongdo and state of Arakan, where hundreds of innocent civilians were killed and arrested. Houses, stores and properties were looted, as well as dozens of women were raped since the attack on BJP forces by unknown invaders on October 9th. The ill policy and intention of Burmese government to ethnic cleansing and uprooting Rohingya from Arakan through various strategies are being successfully said a Rohingya man. The dead body of the lady was rushed to Teknaf police station from the border of Zimankali, Karim said. So this is for today from Arakan Press Network, English News Service. I'm your host Sajid Jalal saying Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Please stay tuned.